the Successful Mind Podcast.
Successful people learn how to make their minds work for them. I'm David Nagel, and this is the Successful Mind Podcast. Hey everyone, I've been talking a lot about the mind-money connection. So if you're kind of following me around, you're going to hear a lot about that. And we've also, the idea we do the program, The Art of Success, a few times a year. We talk a lot about the mind-money connection in that seminar. And I wanted to talk about something again today to just kind of bring this to your attention as far as the importance of money in your life and the idea of really getting to the awareness and the skill set of being able to earn as much as you want whenever you want. Because here's kind of a way to just kind of feel this out for your life. Anytime we have areas of our life that we want to change, much of the difficulty in making significant changes has to do with what other areas of our life are affecting the ones that we want to change. And when it comes to money, it's a very interesting idea because what ends up happening is that money affects every area of our life. Now think about this. If you don't have a real handle and awareness on the amount of money you make, in other words, you literally can make as much as you want whenever you want, okay? I'm not talking about like, hey, tomorrow I'm going to be a billionaire. I'm not talking about that. I mean legitimately going out and earning well beyond what it is that you need on a monthly basis, and you have the ability to do this on a regular basis. The problems that show up in your life that are money related in any way, you don't get reduced to the level of the problem. I've talked about this before. You can lift yourself up above the problem because you have the money to be able to take care of the problem. Like for instance, right? If you had a really crazy week and you don't want to go home and cut your grass on the weekend. I haven't cut my grass in 25 years. I've always had somebody else do it. But let's say that you're in the place where you still cut your grass, and you would nothing more than just have a weekend and not do any of that stuff. If you have the money, you can do it and not even think about it, right? If something breaks down in your house, you don't have to spend your weekend trying to fix it because you don't have the money to hire somebody to fix it because there's more than enough. So those are like outside circumstances that show up within individuals' lives where they get reduced to the level of the problem because they don't have the money to overcome the problem. But what about areas that are already in your life that are complicated by the idea that you don't have money? What about relationship issues? Maybe in business, it's the idea might be, I'm working myself to death and I can't hire somebody because I don't have the money. How many people are in that situation? Now, I run into that problem all the time in coaching business owners. And in every one of these scenarios, here's the case that they're faced with. And you may not believe me when you hear this, but I encourage you to sit and think about this. The idea that you can't do something because you don't have the money is an illusion. It is a complete illusion. We have literally been taught backwards in life about how to take charge of our life and actually move it forward. My mentor taught me many years ago, whenever money would come up in a subject like I can't do this or I can't do that because I don't have the money, he would say, you don't need the money. You need to make a decision. The money comes after the decision. Now, if we actually really think about it, that's the way it usually shows up in our life. But it also becomes reactive so that we end up making decisions based on our perception of the amount of money that we have or the amount of money that we don't have. One of the things that I've done is I've showed people how if you really focus, and you discipline yourself a little bit, in other words, just keep your word, okay? You can break through this mental hypnosis that money is difficult, that it's hard to find, that you've got to work like a dog to get it, and you can actually learn to make a lot of money, and you can do it in a relatively short period of time. My own story is based on, my start in this industry was based on me tripling my income in a month when every apparent thing that I was facing was that I couldn't do that. That I had to go back to school, that I had to work long hours, that I had to suffer, that I had to sacrifice. And if you've listened to the podcast over the years, you know the story very well. I changed my attitude, and 30 days later, my income tripled. And I'm like, what is this? Right? How could this even be possible? And I began to study it, and I began to really understand the power of the decision and what to focus on and what not to focus on in order for money to manifest in your life in whatever amount of abundance that you seriously want for yourself. What if you were to take this next year and make it a priority in your life that you were going to learn how to do this unequivocally, no matter what the situation in your life was? You will never have to worry about money again because you know exactly what to do, when to do it, and whatever amount you need it for, and you could bring it in your life. How would your life change if you had that ability? That's what I want you to walk away with after watching this or listening to this today. Really think about how much easier would your life be? I mean, if you talk to the average person, what is the underlying concern in almost everybody's life? Do I have enough money to live, to do the things that I want to do, to start a business, to send the kids to school, to travel? I mean, to be able to basically do anything. Money touches everything. And it always seems to be the defining factor as to whether a person makes a decision to really go out and live the life that they really want, or they stay stuck behind that proverbial paywall where they can't actually get out and live the way that they really want to live. See, I don't think we were meant to live that way at all. We're supposedly the most intelligent being on the planet. We've got an amazing intellect. We're supposedly conscious beyond the realization of any other living thing that we know of. And we can't live the way that we want because we don't have the money. Something is very wrong there. Very wrong. Now, part of the problem is that the science of economics has basically taken over the idea of what money is, where it comes from, how it works, and how you have to get it. And that's really the kind of idea that we get in our life. But you know that it's one of the most important topics in our life, and it's not even taught in school. They don't teach us how to earn money in school. As a matter of fact, they don't teach us how to earn money anywhere. And yet it's something that every human being needs to live any kind of quality standard in their life. We hear, here's jobs, here's professions, here's skill sets that can earn a lot of money, but it's never the jobs, the professions, or the skill sets that earn a lot of money. It's the individual's belief that they can earn a lot of money. And I know you might be thinking, what about clients? What about a product, right? What about supply and demand? What about interest rates and loans and debt and all these different things? I ask you to push all of that aside and dig into some of the stuff that we have and really learn about the idea of manifesting money in your life, because it'll absolutely change everything and it'll change it really quick. Now, one last thing that I want to leave you with here. When you're learning how to manifest the amount of money that you really want for yourself, a sticking point for most people is that they begin to learn the skill set, okay? They begin to learn the mindset, but they don't learn how to break past the reality of the illusion that it isn't there. That can show up in not enough clients, people that don't have money, nobody's buying, I don't know what to do next. I can't spend, I don't have any marketing. I don't have any click-throughs, on and on and on with this. And none of that has anything to do with it. But what it does have to do with is that it's the place that you stop pursuing that money. So here's an exercise that you can do. Ask yourself, where do you stop? And here's what I mean by that. Where do you make the decision not to keep pursuing that sale, that outcome. In whatever way you want money to show up in your life. Some people are going after a loan for a house or a car or whatever. Some people are going after money so that they can expand their business. Some people are bootstrapping and they're selling their way to what they want. And they're struggling because with all the work that they're doing, there's just a little bit. Wherever you're having trouble, one of two things is taking place. You have a point of resistance in what you're doing, and you're stopping and not moving beyond what's uncomfortable. And it's probably because you're looking at something and your mind is telling you what's not there. Here's the key to break through this. You have to remember something. Like I always teach people, let's go to the highest point of truth that we know and let the truth guide us through the illusion. What's the highest point of truth with this? The money that you want or desire or need is already there. It's already here. A matter of fact, every dollar that you will ever earn for the rest of your life is already in the hands of other people. Every dollar. A matter of fact, every dollar anybody will ever earn or could earn, okay? Think about people that are broke that have no money. They could earn it. That money is already here. It's in the hands of other people. How do we get that money to move from where it is to where we are? And money was created to circulate, not to stagnate, not to stack up in a corner because somebody's afraid. It was made to circulate. It needs to breathe. It needs to move. But what makes it move? There's only one thing in the universe that makes money move, and that's sales. I know that's not what everybody likes to hear, but bear with me for a second. What's the idea of money to begin with? Well, first of all, money is just that. It's just an idea. It's a tool that we invented so that we could live at a completely different scale of life. It allows us to leverage our life because we live in a world today where one human being can't do everything, right? You can't build the house and maintain the house and hunt the food and grow the food and cook the food and make the clothes and educate the kids. We can't do that anymore. We don't live in that world anymore. We live in a world that's much more complicated. Now, sure, yeah, you could go live on a mountaintop with a goat and try to live that way if you want, but the average person's not going to do that. The average person needs the use of things in their life to advance their life. And only through the trading of money for those things do those things come into our life. So the first and foremost idea of what we should be learning is, how do I actually get that money to move into my life so that I can use that money to expand my life? It's already here. If you keep reminding yourself that it's already here, then there should be no obstacle in your life that blocks you from the idea that you can't get it. It's already here. But you don't understand. I don't have the people to talk to. Well, if you're in North America, there's 350, 60 million people. There's 8 billion people on the planet. You can't find enough people to talk to bring the amount of money that you need in to live a really well balanced and amazing life. Every one of us have the ability. We could do that. Every one of us. Why are you stopping in the place that you're stopping? I don't have the marketing leads. Nobody's responding to emails. Nobody's responding to my DMs. Stop. Take a look around. Breathe. The money you want's already here. Where can you go to take whatever it is that you have to go sit down in front of somebody else and ask them for the money? Make the sale. Get the loan. Pay for the thing that you want. Here's another secret. The money is not necessary until you know what you need it for. The worst thing that we could need money for is to pay off debt. I'm not saying don't pay off debt, but when we think about money from such a reason that is so non-enthusiastic in life, it does not create the energy that is required to manifest more money at a larger scale. Money was meant to be used for things that we can use now and in the future, not to pay off things that we didn't pay for before. That's how we got into the problem, because we didn't think that we had the money. Where do you stop? The money is already here. And what is the next level that you can move to in order to make that money move to you? It's always this: asking somebody else for it. You must ask for it to get it to move to you. Every business on the planet, whether it's a for-profit business or a nonprofit business, asks for money. That's called making a sale. Asking for money. Can you ask for what you want? Can you ask for what you need? I think you can. I think you absolutely can. Now, you may have to overcome the idea that we were taught maybe that's rude, or that's not a fun thing to do, or that's not nice. Lots of people have that problem. But the truth is that if you're a good person, if you're an ethical person, if you have a good business, an ethical business, if you have a good product that benefits other people, the greatest thing that you can do in life is sell somebody else that product or service to make their life better. It's a wonderful thing to be able to do that. And we can all participate in the betterness of our lives because of the products and services that are out there. So sales is one of the most wonderful things that we can get involved with. Always remember, sales is not something you do to someone. It's something you do for them, right? Because if I've got a problem, I want somebody to help me get clear on how can I solve that problem, and then sell me the product or service that's actually going to help me change the problem. That's where the old saying is, if you help enough other people, you will always get rich. But the idea must come from, who can I help today? Not how much can I make today. Don't think about what you're going to get. Think about what you have to give. And really sit and think about, where am I stopping? In other words, where am I blocking the abundance that I want to come into my life? I block it by resisting being, doing, and having the person that I need to be that allows it to flow into my life. I've taught this to teenagers, and they're able to make bucketfuls of money. Anybody can do this. It takes some rearranging of thinking, and you must move past the parts that are uncomfortable for you. But if you do that, there's no person that can't master it. And think about what it would be like if you didn't have to ever worry about money again, because you understood the skill set and the mindset to keep bringing it in. You know, we do that with almost everything else that we need in our life. We don't worry about hardly anything like we do money. Maybe it's because we have the wrong idea of how to bring it into our life. And maybe this video or this audio can change that for you, and you can start to break free so that it's no longer an issue in your life either. Because we were meant to expand our life, to live in great joy and adventure and just having a wonderful time, not worried about how we're going to pay the bills next month. Let this thought sink in. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the Successful Mind Podcast. If you like what you heard and you want to learn more, go to lifeisnowinc.com.